Hello, everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. We've got Ruby, Ashley, Andre, and Aaron on board with us today. So we're going to look through a handful of projects here. Just a heads up, this is going to be my last critique of the month. Starting tomorrow, March 1st, we're going to have Christos from Pixar, who's an incredible human being. He's a great guy and an even better artist. Come in and talk to you guys and review your work. So I'm really, really excited for you all to get feedback from him. Like I said, Jasmine and I worked with him for years at Blue Sky. You guys are in great hands. But yes, I want to start off by talking about Aaron. We're going to look at your demo reel. All right, let me just play it through one time without saying things. And then we'll go through and talk about it a little bit. So your main thing, well, actually, I'll say things. So your main thing here, Aaron, is you wanted to, because you had a new project and new projects that you're working on. So are you trying to just identify the weakest components? Oh, you're muted.
I've had two groups of people look at this. One was a demo critique through DreamWorks that I had, and she narrowed a project that she didn't particularly care for. I brought it up in the community critique and chill after, and they said the same exact project. And so I'm just kind of interested in your opinion and anyone in here. Aside from the Unreal projects have to stay, even though I think the Angel Room is like the weakest of the whole entire thing. But I would say the CG animated or the Arnold renders, which one do you think is the weakest one? Because as of right now, two groups of different people have said the same thing. Okay. And I'm just curious as to what you think.
Well, I've got two candidates, right? Like, first off, I think that this chameleon shot is special. I think it's really great. So definitely not that one. I think Ashley's cool. I think Ashley's really, really good. I would say it's probably, and in terms of what you were just talking about with, like having the Unreal project and this, that, like, tailor your demo reel to whatever job. Like, if the job isn't, if you're applying to DreamWorks, like, they don't care if you know Unreal, or maybe they do at this point. I don't know. I don't think so. But like, find out what they're looking for. If they don't care about Unreal and you feel like the work isn't strong enough, pull it off, re-export, and then send them that one. I think for me, it would be probably between the octopus and the alley.
Okay.
I think probably Poker Pros. What did other people say?
Two groups of people both said sushi.
Oh, sushi. Okay.
And
yeah, I can see
DreamWorks, like she was pretty adamant about sushi.
Okay.
So was the group. But like I guess I don't see the difference between, because I feel it's octopus, but I know that shot really intimately. I know that if I were to hit render in Maya, it does not look like that. Like, everything else gets closer and closer as I keep going. Everything else in Maya looks closer and closer to my final. But like, octopus being my first one, I was doing so many changes in Nuke because I was really comfortable with Nuke. And I was just trying to get something in by the end of the month.
Yeah, like, I mean, you're evaluating it based on your personal experience with it,
right? Exactly, yeah.
Which nobody else cares about, right? Like, nobody cares about how much you did in Nuke versus how much you did compared to the render. I think a lot of it is. I think the character design of Poker Post is really interesting and creates a really engaging photograph. I think maybe it's just the sushi itself. Like, I think, yeah.
And it's not a knock on the models. It's not a knock on really anything. Like, I kind of made it clear to them. I was like, I'm not emotionally attached to my work. Like, that was also beat out of me at a very early stage.
Because I think what, so overall your reel starts off really strong, like really, really strong, and then it hits some really good stuff, and then it does feel like it slows down. Mostly because the work isn't as strong, and we lose the animation, and like some of these movements of this stuff, like the animations of this, it's like very, very still, and then like it jumps, and so it's like it just kind of it feels less polished as we go along in the demo reel itself. So I think that I could definitely see the sushi, and if two groups have already identified it, I I mean, I like it a little bit more, but I think I would err on the side of what they say.
Okay.
For that particular, I think, yeah, and I think this one at the end is good. I think Precious good. Yeah. Yeah, I just think that like these three in here, the Poker Puss, Sushi, and this one's not so bad.
This is an Unreal one, so it's like I kind of, if I have to have kind of like a master demo reel, I kind of want to leave. And I think I'm diving more into Unreal anyway, so like some of these are just going to get straight up axed very quickly.
And you can, and that's totally fine. It's like, just and then your other question was like, is there something missing?
Yeah, so like kind of going into like my next project, which is the Raptor one, which is the running Raptor. I haven't really decided on a time of day or a scene. Like, do you feel like there's any kind of lighting setup or style that is just missing from my reel? Like,
lighting style or setup, I would say.
So for instance, like if you were to say to me today, like, hey, get rid of the haunted house, my question to you would be like, but it's my only night lighting on there.
My take on it would be, this one feels almost got like, this feels kind of night like. I think, yeah, I'm not going to leave something on my reel that the work isn't as good just because it fills a hole of showing things.
Yeah.
So like definitely first priority is what's good, but I think what's missing is what you're gonna approach in the next shot, which is a more dynamic shot, a more actiony, exciting thing. Because that'll be really, really challenging, and like that'll be cool. I think what's missing for me in this is an like, and although the Sushi kind of has this, but they're like, I was gonna say an interior with artificial lights, something like a computer screen glow, tungsten lights, something like that. These are kind of like that, but they're so fantastical. So
Yeah, they're so hyper driven. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right. Speaking of which, let's jump into your Dino Escape. For your next project, because I think because we referenced it, we should talk about it. So this is, we were talking about this a little bit offline. This is animation from Griffin Academy, right?
Yep.
And like right now, obviously, like the lighting is just so we can see things. It's not indicative of where we're going. You're gonna, you've got a process of starting to apply some materials to this. But I like, again, this is my favorite time to talk about lighting, is before you've actually done anything, because we can kind of talk about how the story and what we're going to do. So there's two big elements of this. The one, there's the running, which we need to track. There's the drama of this, and then there's the surprise of the emergence of the T-Rex, right? So like, running along, T-Rex pops out. So what we want to do is, what my gut would tell me to do would be to make sure that this area in here is in, like, that's all in shadow, so we don't get shaping on the T-Rex. And then as soon as there, like, this is an important pose, because he nearly escapes, and so we want that to we want that emergence to be surprising, and we really want to read the mouth. And when there are teeth in there, we want to see the teeth. And then the other one is, in a shot like this, you want to hype up the drama. And to do that in a chase, you want to make sure that they're running through patches of light and shadow. Boom, 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 boom. Like, and they're fast, right? Like, because you want, it's almost like a visual pulsing of it's almost like, think of it as the heart rate of the shot. So you want that heart rate to be high, like and like, if there was another shot after this where the T-Rex slips and falls and he's able to run away, then you kind of slow down that pace. So those would be my two big things to worry about. And like, your directionality of the light can and all that stuff can play into that. Now, there's not a lot of trees. It's like the second that we kind of move up here, you can see that it's like it is like there's only just a couple palm trees up there.
Yeah.
Can you are there ways, or maybe you can, because
I can keep going. You just duplicate them and Unreal
got it.
Recognize it.
But so then position trees in a way that would cast the shadows in that rhythm.
Yeah.
Because like when it's motion blurred out, like it'll just kind of all be a mush back there anyway. So yeah. So because the animators leave scenes as bare as they can, just to kind of communicate what's going on, right? So like there are some areas to kind of fill that stuff in.
Yeah, I was kind of staging, like I've got their land in there as kind of like as an outline as to kind of what they intended for what they originally thought was going to be on their reel. So I'm just kind of using that as like where I should for sure have something, and then I'm filling it in even more, with what I can. And so far, Unreal seems to be taking it like a pro. So until it's not.
The only things to watch out for, like, there's a couple things, like he disappears for a frame.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so just like, I don't know if the animator has the ability
I'll hide it. I'm just going to hide it. I'm so over the Olympics.
Yeah, just like keep it behind the log for an extra frame. That's fine too.
Yeah.
There was that, and then I was a little concerned that the T-Rex was a manic. Like, I think it's moving throughout. Sometimes it's like mannequin, like they forgot to animate it the first couple frames, then it like starts up real fast. So I think it's okay. And the other one was just make sure there was a point where it looked like the T-Rex had penetrated the ground. I think it's fast enough where you can. I think it actually does. But just like in the comp, just like keep a shadow under there.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't even know if this is going. I have no idea what to expect with the render layers situation. So,
he may be penetrating the ground here too.
This is a whole new learning process for me. Like, as you can see, like on my reel right now, the Unreal stuff I have is like a still, or I moved a camera from left to right.
Yeah.
This is a whole different ball game for me. So.
Man, look at that is a mushy mess in there because you got camera move. Yeah, it'd be fun. This is a challenging shot too, right? Because anytime you've got the camera kind of pivoting around 180 degrees, it's especially at that rate. Because this is something else I should say. So in shots like this, depending on how things are done in Unreal, lots of times you'll have like a key position that works here, and then as the camera comes around, like you want basically like the thing that'll look good on the character when the camera's behind the character may not look good when the camera's in front of them. So sometimes you have to like, as the camera's moving, you like slowly shift the sun over to the side a little bit more. And because of the dynamic nature of the shot, as long as you keep that movement a little bit slower, you actually won't see it. So you can kind of play with that a little bit too.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then, so this is the final of this one.
Oh yeah, I just threw it in there in case you wanted to look at it versus.
You just want more applause. You just want to be clapped.
No.
Not give it to you. Not today, my friend.
No.
Nope.
It's done.
Okay.
I'm over it. Thanks.
No problem. All right, Ashley, let's take a look. So this is big things that we were working on from the last iteration. You made the sun a little glowier, brighter. Looks like a rebalancing of the interior or the artificial versus natural lighting stuff. And it's starting to feel a lot better. Like I think this is working well. I think underneath this might feel a little bit too glowy.
Yeah, I actually know what happened there. It's brighter than the last version under there because of the light maps. When I readjusted the light maps, I was under the impression like, oh, you have to like up-res where it's like red into the green, but I found out that that's not necessarily the case. So I think I'm gonna take those light maps back down, and it should add more of that contrast back in there.
I see.
Like that's exactly what happened because I looked at that myself and was like, I like the last one better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, good.
So
Good. I also think that I would allow maybe. I'm looking at this area over here and wondering if we shouldn't put that in a little bit of shadow, just to kind of keep everything facing back this way. I love the leading lines going back here. Ground looks great. Reflection looks great. What do you guys think? You guys have any thoughts on this?
I think the only thing that I see is the lights on the shadow, the lampposts or whatever we call that, on the look a little bit too bright for me because they're like the same value as the ground on the like that has been hitting by the sun. So I'll turn that down a little bit.
Yeah.
The two lampposts on the right.
The two lampposts on the right. Why am I not seeing
The two on the
like towards the
shadow side
I'm sorry.
of the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those two over there.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But it looks great.
Yeah, this is looking really cool. Anybody else have any thoughts on this one?
Just based on. Actually, can you mute?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just based on kind of some of the critique on like why like sushi, like someone said sushi was weak on mine because it didn't have a foreground like occlusion like objects, and so I'm wondering if
Like
as you do your camera dolly, which I know you're planning on doing, if you just had some cactus kind of like up front to kind of like add some darker planes of action, to make it feel a little bit more grounded in the world rather than just like a posed piece, would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if there's like a sign, there's room for some stuff in the foreground here. That's true. That's a really good point.
For sure. Yeah.
Because that happens, and I've noticed that in the real time. Something about the Unreal shots, like they seem like I just like want to populate the foreground with stuff, just because I think they like want to leave space for people to move around. It's interesting. No, this is great. Really, really great job. All right, Sunny, we will come. Sunny, we will come back to yours in just a second if you're watching this on the recording. But I do want to get those that are live. So we want to get Andre. So Andre, let's talk about what's going on here. What you up to?
So I did tone down the emergency lights and pop the inside the robot light a little bit more so that it will get a little bit more of that explosion.
Yeah.
But I feel that everything went a little too dark.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the fill values are about right, but I think let me look at this. I think we can actually go brighter with the red lights. Basically, I think the environment light is pretty okay. I think we might even just push the red light a little bit stronger on her, and then just make it so that you already got it here. So just making sure that the red light is not hitting her when that happens. But I think that's the big thing, because I think we can keep the brightest reds on the characters, and just try that for the next iteration and see. I think that would be good. But I agree with you that overall it's gotten a little bit too dark. So let's try pushing the effect on the characters a little bit brighter first, and then see if we can if there's room to brighten up in the environment as well.
Okay.
Very cool. All right, great. Ruby. So we've got this is the update, right? No, this is previous. This is update. Yes, this is update. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So we've lifted some of the ground shadows. Looks like some of the shaders have been updated too. Is there anything? What else you got going on?
Oh yeah, I changed the shaders on the pots because they had those dots over there. And I made the arm a little bit warmer too. and I added a little bit more light on the white and yellow flowers. And I think that's it.
Looks like
I don't know.
is there a little more gradation across these flowers too? Are these getting a little darker on this side? Or am I crazy?
It might be a little bit because I think I added like a vignette at some point.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Cool. I think the last thing would be her looking at her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the square eye dings I usually reserve those for like windows and stuff. I think they're a little too big, and they almost because her eyes themselves are so dark. I think it's almost making it look like cat eyes or something almost. It's kind of changing the shape of the eye a little bit. So I would just make those a little bit smaller.
Okay.
There's one thing to go ahead.
And make them round. Sorry.
Yeah, make them round too. Yeah, because it's like reflecting the round sun. So while I like the increased bounce light on the bowl, or taking away those super darks down there, I think it almost feels like in a couple of the flowers themselves that darkening, like losing that darkening, actually kind of hurts them a little bit. So the flowers themselves maybe bring back some of the ambient occlusion, but the bowls keep it lifted.
Okay.
And I'm looking specifically just down here in the immediate foreground, like basically, in this bowl, this bowl, this bowl. Let's see. I guess these two as well. So just the five in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any thoughts on this?
I would maybe try, because I don't think it's like breaking your shot, but maybe duplicate your skin shader for that screen left arm and maybe take down some of the sheen of the spec. It's looking different than the rest of like the nice like subsurfacey skin.
Yeah, you know what? It's almost like the specularity is too broad. It might just need a tighter specularity on that arm.
So yeah, like if you just duplicate your shader and then just only apply a tweaked version of it to that arm and hand, like I think you'll solve your problem without like changing like her face and her screen right arm and stuff.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll try that one. Mm-hmm.
Right, great. Good call, Aaron.
Are the flowers looking any better?
Yeah.
I'm having so much issue with the flowers though.
Yeah. I think they are.
I feel like
I think they are looking better. By the way, it's funny. Your video froze. There you go. But you started talking and it broke my brain for a second. Because I was like, that sounds like Ruby. Anyway. I do think that the flowers are looking better. I think that they've made like if we looked at the original version, I think that I think they've definitely come a long way, and I think that they're looking pretty. I think they're looking good. I think what happens, and at least this happened to me with flowers, is you start to lose your mind a little bit with them, because honestly they are so difficult because of their translucency that after a while you're like, these don't look like real things. These look, but you need this. This is why you need critique sometimes, because if you try to do this on your own, you would just lose your mind. But I think their saturation is good. I think that they're because again these are like show flowers, right? So they are going to be more saturated. They are going to be a little bit punchier than like if you were doing like wildflowers along a countryside or something. So I think they're looking good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, Sunny, let's hop on in here. So we've got this one. Oh wait, where'd it go? Oh yeah, here's a reference. Cool. I do that every time. Anyway, so we've got your reference and your image here. So first off, like out of the gate, it's really good. It's a great subject matter. Great positioning of the lights. You're doing such a good job of getting like subtlety in the specularities. It's looking so good. The notes that I'm going to have are super minor because the things that people normally struggle with this character, as well as with character lighting, is like, lots of times it'll feel too matte. Lots of times we won't get the subtle shaping. Lots of times, like, it's really hard to mimic this warmth on the key side, coolness on the fill side. But honestly, you're really, really rocking it. Lips are usually very difficult on all characters to kind of feel like the wrinkle but like it's there. You got it. It feels like different skin, but still cohesive with the character. The notes I'm going to give are going to be super minor. And in this particular case, the things to like I would do, I would desaturate and soften the eye dings a little bit. I think the eye dings are a little bit too orange. I would pull that back. I would, and normally I would say push them up a little bit higher, but since you're matching specifically to live action plate and you're going to want to show this in your demo reel that you can read that, I would just keep them exactly where they are. I would plug the whole, I would take this area right here is a little bit, I would just darken that light. I would just paint it basically, and just fill in that hole. Because what happens is if you kind of squint at it, your eye is going to be drawn, like, sure, you get drawn to these things, but that's fine. But really, I want my eyes to be drawn to this contrast point, and they keep getting drawn here because that's actually slightly bigger and slightly brighter than the eye dings. So just plug that up. I think we can go a little bit more on the rim, on the hair, on the screen left side. I think that this can come up just a little bit, and I think that this, there's like a bit of speck right there on her, I guess, temple, or right where her skin meets her hairline. That's a little bit bright. Just tone that down just a little bit. Everything else looks really fantastic. I mean, even that stuff looks fantastic. It's just minor tweaks. Any notes on this? Any thoughts? Do you guys like it? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. It's like there's such a richness to the skin that is really, really hard to really hard to accomplish, and you got it on your seemingly, maybe I just haven't seen it, but it's the first iteration of this. It's great. Great. Okay, let's look at the other. Yeah, so the interior one, all in all, it, like just focusing on the interior, I think it's all good. Like it's a nice, like, desaturated feel to it. My biggest thing is the discrepancy between the sky color between the left window and the back window. Like the back window, the sky looks blue. Left window looks kind of warmer. So I would just keep it in the warmer palette, and match that. It's interesting. I was going to say this. So it's interesting that we see I mean, obviously it's interesting. So basically there's this reflection in the window there, but like when you kind of look at the window as a whole, you don't really get a sense that there's, I guess you see it here. I guess the window, the pane of glass is outside of this framing, but then I would expect to see, I guess maybe it's just the angle, some more reflection of that. I know I can kind of see it now. Yeah, I was thinking that I wasn't seeing the rest of the glass, but I guess you kind of see it. It's just hard to pick out. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just muttering down. But yeah, I think the rest of it's good. Do you guys see anything? Any areas of improvement in here?
I would just suggest, if you can afford to do it, like, time-wise, and I mean, really, yeah, just time, like, render-wise, eke in like a volumetric to connect the light to connect the window to the light being cast on the floor. It would, one, kind of make that connection, and two, divide the room up into a third plane of action so that you have your background window, your light slice, and then your foreground objects.
No, that's great.
But that's what I see.
The other thing that I just kind of saw was I think there might be something going on with the stand-up bass or cello. Like, maybe I'm crazy, but well, two things that I was kind of saying. One, I think the bumpiness of it is too high, and then there's like this cutout shape I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So just take a look at that. It looks like something wacky might be happening there. Yeah, the rest of the scene's looking great, though. All right. Well, that is all, guys. That's it for today. That's it for me for a little while. I'm going to be, like I said previously, taking a little break. I'm mostly focusing on my own work. I want to learn some new things and create some new artwork. We're also going to be moving to the Bay Area in the next couple months, so I kind of wanted to focus in on that. On top of that, and for you guys, we wanted to make sure, like I said, to get you some differing opinions. We've got some fantastic, amazing, incredible people in the industry who can provide feedback for you all. And we just want to make sure you guys are seeing a different opinions, different styles of critique, and it'll just make you better artists in the long run. So I'll still be around. I will still be checking in. I may not be replying as quickly as I try to get better at focusing on actually working and less distracted by things like Discord. So I will try and hunker down a little bit, but I'll still be checking my messages. So I still hope to hear from you guys soon. All right. I will talk to you all. I'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
Have a good one,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.